Good morning. My name is Jaden K, and I will be your chairperson for today's service. Are there any visitors or new students and families here this morning? If so, welcome to our temple. Could those of you sitting near them help them find the proper pages for the sutras, gathas, and readings? Thank you. First, we will have Sambujo on page 24 in the big book, followed by Sutra Training Junirai on page 20 in the little book, or page 67 in the big book. Now we will have Gatha, We Are One, which is the first song in the yellow handout, followed by the Golden Chain, which is located on page 2 in the little book or page 15 in the big book under Golden Chain 1.
Okay, page 1 for the yellow book, right? Okay. どうぞ。Come and gather around, hand in hand. Listen to Amida's teaching. Listen to the heart, listen with your mind to Amida Buddha's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu, singing Namo Amida Butsu. All the world is bright, singing Namo Amida Butsu. We are one. This is harmony in Amida's land. Peace and harmony within me. Put our hands together, bow our heads. Thank for Amida Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, singing Namo Amida Butsu. All the world is bright, singing Namo Amida Butsu. We are one. We are one.
The Golden Chain. I am a link in Amida's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I will keep my link bright and strong. I will be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will think pure and beautiful thoughts, say pure and beautiful words, and do pure and beautiful deeds. May every link in Amida's golden chain of love be bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Now we will have a Dharma lesson by Minister's Assistant, Mr. Akizuki.
Please join me in Gassho and reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Good morning. Welcome to everyone here joining us in the Hondo and those watching us at home or wherever through YouTube. We're glad you can join us. Okay, so something's different about the Onaijin. What's different? Yes?
There's 2 photos.
Okay, who knows who those 2 people are? Anybody? Come on. Not Mike, not Mr. Jones. No one knows who these, they're 2 women. Eshinni and Kakushinni. Which is which?
Eshinni is on the right.
That's right. Eshinni is on the right, Kakushinni is on the left. Who is Eshinni?
Was the wife of Shinran.
The wife of Shinran, right. Okay, maybe some of the Dharma School students can answer the next one then. Who is Kakushinni? The daughter of Shinran. Good. And so they're up there not just because they're the wife and the daughter of Shinran. It's because both of them played a big role in why we're here today. So we remember them because of the roles that they played in the history of our sect of Buddhism, right? The short answer is that again, without them, without Eshinni, Kakushinni, we may not be here today. Both of them are very important in the founding and the development of our sect of Buddhism, which is Jodo Shinshu Hongan Jiha, which means true essence of the Pure Land Buddhist teachings. Now, who are they? Eshinni came actually from a noble family. They owned land. She owned land. And this fact is actually important to the development of Jodo Shinshu. Because, when Shinran, what did he do? Shinran didn't really have a job, right? He didn't earn income, and really, he basically spent his time writing, studying, sharing the Nembutsu teachings, Namomi Dabusu, with people. So, followers probably donated food and money to Shinran and his family, but he actually had 6. Actually, some people think that he might have had 7, at least 6 children, right? And so, as you can imagine, feeding 6 children when you don't have a lot of income could be a challenge. So, Eshinni had land, so she had income from the land. She was able to then support her husband and her family that way. So she was important because she enabled Shinran basically to do his thing, to study, to write, and to spread the teachings. In fact, this is the property is one of the reasons why Shinran and his wife parted company when later in life. She had to go back because her property was where Shinran was exiled to, which is known as Etsuko at that point, which is kind of like out in the rural area, right? So they lived in Kyoto at the time. She went back to the home to look after the property and some of the children and grandchildren who were living back there. So she left Shinran when Shinran was in the early 80s, and she left him in the care of Kakushinni. Kakushinni's the youngest daughter. And I read something where Kakushinni, out of the 6 children, Kakushinni is the only one who really kind of had an interest in her father's teachings, at least a deep interest. So she cared for him. Basically, she was his caretaker for the last about 8 years of his life. He passed away at age 90. Now, Shinran, as you might know, wasn't about, like, I'm Shinran, I have all these great teachings. He was a very modest person. He would say things like, I don't have a single follower. He wasn't about kind of like, I'm this important person. He didn't set out to found a sect of Buddhism. He didn't have an organization. He didn't do any of those kind of things. That kind of fell to Kakushinni. So when her father died, I think she realized that there was not a structure. There was not a place to kind of center of his teachings. So she kind of did a mausoleum, kind of a temple, to build around to house his ashes. It was this kind of informal temple to begin with, and later became an official temple. And this is kind of the start of our branch of Buddhism, is what she did. And she became the first caretaker of the ashes of the mausoleum of Shinran. Although, if you look at the list of the official heads of our sect of Buddhism, Kakushinni does not appear there. But she is the one that started this, right? And the caretaker then became something that was passed down through to the family. So her son, Kakue, was the second caretaker. And then her grandson was the third caretaker. And I believe that's the line all the way through our current head of the figurehead head of our sect of Buddhism. Because so this was like 750 years ago. So it was, I think, a real effort to kind of build this temple, this first temple that housed his ashes. So this became kind of a center, a focal point of people who followed Shinran's teachings. And most of the people initially who followed Shinran's teachings weren't in Kyoto. He was not actually well known in Kyoto because he spent most of his time in exile and after exile traveling in different parts of Japan. So his teachings were more popular outside of Kyoto than inside of Kyoto. But then having this temple in Kyoto kind of helped spread the teachings there. So then we talk about Shinran and Eshinni and Kakushinni, but over time, people started to doubt because, in those days, there weren't things like Instagram where Kakushinni could do a post like, "Hey, I started this temple and my father's ashes are here," and Eshinni couldn't do a Instagram post saying, today's the 50th anniversary of my husband's and I anniversary. So over years, people started to doubt there was Eshinni. They started to doubt that Shinran was married to a woman named Eshinni. Some people even started to doubt there was an actual Shinran, right? Because things weren't maybe recorded as they weren't as recorded as today. So in 1921, more than 100 years ago, a professor was looking through the archives, and you can imagine the Jodo Shinshu archives at Nishihonganji. They're like 800 years of stuff, right, gathered in one place. So he's looking through the archives, doing some research, and he came across 10 letters. These 10 letters were written by, he determined they were written by Eshinni. 8 of those letters were written to her daughter, Kakushinni. So this is evidence there was a Shinran, there was an Eshinni. Eshinni and Shinran were married, and actually it forms kind of like the confirmation of a lot of the things we know about Shinran's life. So these are kind of the reasons why we recognize two women who are very important in why we're here today. So we should remember that. And even though Eshinni is not in that official line, Kakushinni was not in that official line of caretakers of our sect of Buddhism, she's the one who had the foresight and to really set that up and laid the foundation to our sect of Buddhism. So, and again, Eshinni, she's the one who supported Shinran and her family. So without these two women, we wouldn't be here today, I don't think. And we should be grateful for them and remember them and celebrate everything they did for us. So please join me in Gassho and Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
Thank you, Mr. Akizuki. We will now have Gatha Sayonara on page 103 in the Little Service Book, followed by the promise located on page 5 in the Little Book.
Stand up, please. 1 or 3.
The promise. We thank the Buddha for showing us the way to freedom. We will endeavor to walk in his noble paths every day of our lives. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Midabusu.
Namo Amida Butsu.
Namo Midabusu.
Amida Butsu. Please be seated. Thank you.
Thank you to Reverend Mikame, Uncle Michael Jones, Mr. Akizuki, Mrs. Tanabe, and to organist Auntie Elaine Jones. Are there any announcements?
Good morning. I guess Rinbon would normally make this announcement, but next week we have no Dharma school, right? There's going to just be a family service at 10 o'clock, so just a reminder of that. And then on behalf of Rinbon and Reverend Mikame and Mrs. Sakamoto, thank you for all of you who helped out with the curry prep yesterday morning. As far as I know, it went well. I don't know. I was working in the back, so it's hard to judge how things are going. Let's see, Michael, you were there, and Elaine, and did that go well? Yeah. So anyway, thank you. If you didn't hear it, so there were 7 teams competing, and they awarded cash prizes to the top 3, and Rinbon took 3rd place. So anyway, so thanks again.
Good morning, everybody. Just a reminder that today we're having our soul line dancing class. So it starts at 11:30 in the gym. Come and join us. We have a lot of fun, and you'll get some exercise as well. Thank you.
Hi, just really quickly, on the 29th, we will be having the next installment and the final installment of the Buddhism Simply and Clearly class. So if you would like to hear kind of a simple, clear version of Buddhism explained to you, please come to the boardroom upstairs at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, the 29th. Thank you. If you would like to attend by Zoom, you can also do that. Please get the Zoom link from the Betsuin office. Thank you.
Before everyone leaves the temple, please straighten all the books for the next service. Those of you who are interested are welcome to attend the adult English service following this service, or you are welcome to stop by the Open Door Cafe tent outside in front of the garden. For your safety, please obey the crossing guards and look both ways before crossing the street. Thank you for attending today's service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget. Thank you.
The ministers, they were up when I came in. Yes. Yeah. Because they don't get talked about.
Okay, sure. Today we have many people or students will be sitting there, so you can ask them.
Okay, thank you. Did you already tell them? Oh. Good morning. I'm Karen Akimoto, and I'd like to welcome all of you who are in the Hondo and people at home to our annual BWA Eshinni Kakushinni memorial service. So this is in memory of some wonderful Buddhist women. Eshinni, who is in the picture on your right in the blue, she is the wife of Shinran Shonin. The photo on, or not the photo, but the drawing on the left is Kakushinni, youngest daughter of Shinran, and also Lady Oshoko Ohtani. She's the grandmother, I think, of the current Gomonshu, and also to our dear BWA members who have passed away during the past year. So, are there guests? I know we have some students in the back. Do you want to, can you stand and introduce yourselves, please? Okay, and where are you from? The school? Okay, all right, okay. Do we have, if you have any questions, you can ask the people around you, okay? Do we have any other guests, first-time visitors? Okay, thank you. All right. We'll start this morning's service with meditation and sutra chanting. The Sambujo and Sambujo Ge are in the large service book, the big blue one, purple one. It's on page, Sambujo is on page 24, and Sambujo Ge is on page 22. No, 79, sorry. 24 and 79. And if you're looking in the small book, the Sambujo Ge is on page 22. Okay, thank you. Okay, now we'll have Oshoko by families of our late BWA members for Mitsue Mori Yoshizumi. Thank you. For Michi Shoka Narimatsu. Can you go? Naomi? Naomi, can you come up? Can you, Oshoko? For Mrs. Yumiko Hojo. Yoshia Yokoi. Sumi. 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 Okay, thanks. Irene Hirota. Marlene Asso. Sadako Ikeda. Sharon Yoshiko Kawashima. Now we'll have Daihyo Shoko, which is Representative Oshoko, representing the family, Mr. Sus Ikeda. For the Betsuin, Mr. Larry Honda. And for BWA, Mrs. Shiz Hanada. Thank you, everyone. Next, we'll sing the Gatha. Seiya. It was written by Lady Takeko Kujo, who's the founder of BWA. It's on page 226 in the large service book, and it'll be followed by San Kie Mon on page 6 of the large service book, and the Three Treasures on page 3 in the small service book.
226 word on the larger book. Okay, Seiya. Please remain standing. We're going to read the San Kie Mon, Right San Mon, which is located on page 6 and 7. So I'm going to read the leader part. So please follow from the everyone part. Okay. San Kie Mon. Okay. Page 6 and 7. On the larger book. Okay. 三景門。人参受けがたし、今すでに行く。 仏法聞きがたし今すでに聞く。好み根性に向かってどせずんば、さらにいずれの章に向かってか好みをどせん。大衆もろともに指針に参謀に帰依し奉るべし。自ら仏に帰依し奉る。まさに願わくば主情とともに大道を大義して無常意を起こさん。自ら法に帰依し奉る。まさに願わくば主情とともに深く胸像に入りて知恵海のごとくならん。自ら僧に帰依し奉る。まさに願わくば主情とともに大衆を通りして一切無下ならん。無常人人未明の方は百千万号にも相合うことかたし、我今検問し従事することを得たり、願わくは如来の真実義を下し奉らん。Okay, so we're gonna read the three treasures in English. Okay, this time. So please open the page 3 on this smaller book. Sorry, it's confusing. It's in English version of the Kie Mon. Okay. So when you read this, so there is a kind of line like saying like this: in a spirit of universal brotherhood. So when you read this, please replace the oneness with the brotherhood, like this. So please read this like this: in a spirit of universal oneness. So please be careful. Okay. Three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the blessed one. Now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be free from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into yourselves the principle of your ways enlightenment and awaken yourselves the spring will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of doctrine and gaze wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become unitary true accord in a light-hearted harmony, in a spiritual universal oneness, free from the bondage for selfishness. Even through ages of myriads of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us solely understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Please join me in Kansho. Place your hands together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you. Please be seated.
Thank you, Sensei. Okay, now we're privileged to have a Dharma talk by our own BWA member and minister's assistant, Sumi Tanabe.
Good morning, BWA members and Sangha. As Karen mentioned earlier, today is a very special service that BWA sponsors each year. As she also mentioned, you see the portrait of Eshinni on the right with the blue headscarf and Kakushinni, their daughter, on the left. Please join me in Gassho. from the Jodo Shinshu Creed. I affirm my faith in Amida's infinite wisdom and compassion. Reciting his sacred name, I shall live with strength and joy. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Did anybody know what this flower is? I just learned this morning by Reverend Mikame that it's kobushi. This t-shirt in the back said kobusho, but it's kobushi. It's a white flower. I received this t-shirt as a gift from Janice Joy on one of her trips to Japan. It is Eshinni's flower. As some of you know, Eshinni's temple is quite different from the other Jodo Shinshu temples. Most of the Jodo Shinshu temple have the hanging wisteria, but hers has this white flower, which grows wild. When I went to her temple, the flower was growing wild in the rice paddies. As some of you know, I have been paying tribute to some of our ministers who served this Betsuin. I talked about Reverend Yukawa and Reverend Hiroshi Abiko. Today, for just a short time, I would like to mention Reverend Kara Himaka, the first woman minister to serve this Betsuin, but for a very, very short time because she was a student also at San Jose State. Eshinni, wife of Shinran, wrote letters in her old age to her youngest daughter, Kakushinni. Until 1921, when these letters were discovered in the archives of the Honzan, the Shin headquarters in Kyoto, there existed no documentation of what kind of person Eshinni might have been. Reverend Kara Himaka, although she served a very short term, as I mentioned, wrote a pamphlet on Kakushinni. This pamphlet was produced by the Department of Buddhist Education. Shinran Shonin's daughter and the foundation of Hongwanji. After she served our Betsuin, she went on to serve as the director of the Department of Buddhist Education. Around that time, I was also chair of the BCA Buddhist Education Committee, and so I worked closely with Reverend Himaka. One of her projects was the development and the publication of this service work, which we use today. I also read Ruth Taber's novel on Eshinni. And the Tanisho, a Shin Buddhist classic, translated by Reverend Dr. Taitetsu Uno. As all of you know, Shinran was born in 1173 and spent 20 years on Mount Hiei. He came down after hearing Honen speak about the Nembutsu teaching. He and Honen were both exiled to different parts of Japan. While in exile, Shinran married Eshinni. Shinran was the first Buddhist monk to openly establish a family and become the father of 6 children by his wife Eshinni. First, a daughter referred to as the woman of Ogume, Ogudo, a son called Zenrai, a son called Miyoshin, a son called Arifusa, a daughter called Takano Zennen, a daughter called Kakushinni, the last child. Some of these children were also known by other names. Kakushinni was born in Inada in 1224. Shinron was 52 years old, and Eshinni was 43. This year was special because Shinron compiled his work, Kyo Gyo Shin Sho, the true teaching, practice, shinjin, and realization of the Pure Land Way in 6 volumes. When Kakushinni was about 9 or 10 years old, Shinron returned with his family to Kyoto after he was pardoned. Shinron's return to Kyoto, according to one historian, was to finalize and make clear the Kyogyo Shinsho. Kakushinni was raised in the strong Nembutsu faith, and a mother who truly loves Shinron and supported his beliefs. Kakushinni began her service as a lady-in-waiting. She married Hino Hirotsuna, whose father was Shinron's cousin. Kakushinni was about 26 years old when she gave birth to a son, Koju, or Kakue. When he was 7 years old, his father died. Kakushinni and Kakue then were sent to live with his grandparents. He was taught the essence of the Nembutsu teaching. Later, Kakue entered Shoden Inn, a Tendai temple in Kyoto, and became ordained. He was to become the second in succession after his mother, Kakushinni, as protector of the ancestral hall. This was the position of caretaker for the original memorial monument dedicated to Shinron. In 1254, Eshinni went back to Ichigo. She was 73 years old, and Shinron was 82. Eshinni went back to care for her grandchildren and her family property. Eshinni never saw Shinron again. It was during this time that she wrote letters to Kakushinni. 2 letters were on the transfer of servants and one on clothing that Kakushinni sent to her mother. There was famine, and Kakushinni wanted to do something special for her mother. Eshinni told her daughter that she would keep the clothing as her last apparel for her final trip to the land of bliss. Kakushinni cared for Shinron, and he died on November 28, 1262, at age 90. Kakushinni wrote a letter to her mother concerned that Shinron's death was peaceful and uneventful. She expected her father would have strange and miraculous events surrounding his death. Eshinni told her daughter that she firmly believed there was no doubt in Shinron's rebirth in the Pure Land. She had a dream of 2 bodhisattvas showing rays of light. Eshinni understood that this was Honen, the bodhisattva of wisdom. The other bodhisattva is the image of Kannon, the bodhisattva of compassion. Eshinni never told Shinron of that dream. She believed Shinron represented the bodhisattva of compassion. She deeply respected and admired her husband. Kakushinni was about 30 years old when Shinron died. 3 years later, she married Onomiya Zennen. She had 2 sons by Zennen. Kakushinni was 43 years old when her first son, Kakue, was 20 years of age. Zennen owned valuable property. In 1272, Shinron asked her to move to a site on Zennen's property. Disciples of Shinron gave donation and erected a stone tomb in the ancestral hall, what was to become the nucleus of the Hongwanji temple. Although the ancestral hall and the image of Shinron, the grounds, belonged to Shinron's Kanto disciple, Onomiya Zenin gave the property and its right to Kakushinni in 1272. In the deed, Zenin specifically states that it was up to Kakushinni's free decision whether or not she handed down the land to Yuzen, his own son, or Kakokure, his stepson. Look at the picture of the Kongomunshu over there. His grandmother is Lady Yoshiko Ohtani, the wife of Gomunshu I met as a child. The Gomunshu and Lady Ohtani came to the United States, and hundreds of us children received our Buddhist name at the time. When we commemorated the anniversary of Nenyo, we were able to see the Gomunshu Ohtani, the husband of Lady Ohtani. He had turned over the responsibility of head spiritual leader to his son, the father of the current Gomunshu. Lady Ohtani was born in 1918 and died in 2000. She married the 23rd Gomunshu. She visited many temples in Japan and around the world. Lady Ohtani was an excellent speaker, and her words resonated with Jodo Shinshu women. She is important because she revitalized the Fujinkai, or the BWA. Let us never forget these three important women in Jodo Shinshu: Eshinni, Kakushinni, and Lady Ohtani. Please join me in Kansho. From the teaching of the Buddha. A family is a place where a mind lives with other minds. If the minds have each other and love each other, the home will be as beautiful as a flower garden. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you for your kind attention, and now I call on Michael Jones, Minister Assistant, to read the Gobonshu, both in Japanese and English.
So before Michael is coming, I need to give you a kind of quick explanation about the Gobunsho. So Michael will now read a letter called the Gobunsho, written by the 8th religious leader in a tradition, Renyo, about 500 years ago in Japan. So there is a hanging scroll of Renyo is displayed in the Naijin next to Amida Buddha. And at the time, so the members and followers of Honganji were scattered across Japan. And Renyo wrote the letters addressing their questions about the teachings and doctrines. So since not everybody could read, so ministers would read these letters during the services. So the content of this letter thoroughly explains Jodo Shinshu doctrines, and even today it is read after Dharma talks in Japan. So Michael has been practicing this kind of etiquette and manners of the reading of Gobunsho for the December Tokudo ordination training, in addition to chanting Shoshingear and many things, many stuffs. And he has been working so hard on this. So if you could support Michael, and it will be appreciated. So there's also specific manners for the listener's side. So let me explain. So when Michael opening the book, so book of Gobunsho, please lower your head slightly forward like this. Not like this, slightly forward like this. This is called the Haicho no Shise. It's a posture of respectful listening to Renyo's letter and pay respect to Amida Buddha. Okay, and after finishing a Japanese reading, Michael is gonna read the English version of Gobunsho. So after reading the English version, please recite the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, to express your gratitude through Nembutsu. Okay, so he's gonna read this Gobunsho every after the Dhamma talk at the kind of English adult service. So every week. So I hope you kind of understand that he's gonna practice through this services. Okay, all right. So thanks to Michael, we have an opportunity to listen to the Gobun show. So thank you, Michael. Okay, so お願いします。
承認一流のご関係の趣は信心のもって本当せられそのゆえはもろもろの造業を投げ捨てて真に皆に君をすれば不可思議の眼力として分の方より往生は事情せしめたもそのくらいを一年発起入相乗始終とも釈しその上の称名念ブッダ如来我が往生をさらめたまいしご恩法人の念仏と心べきなりアナカシコアナカシコThe tradition of Shinran Shonin. What is taught in the tradition of Shinran Shonin is that the entrusting heart is essential. For when we abandon various practices and take refuge in Amida with singleness of heart, our birth in the Pure Land is settled by the Buddha through the inconceivable vow power. The state we thus attain is described as, with awakening of a single thought of entrusting, we join those who are in the stage of the truly settled. Recitation of the Nembutsu thereafter should be understood to be the Nembutsu as an expression of gratitude for the Tathagata's benevolence for settling our birth in the Pure Land. Humbly and respectfully, please join me in Gasho. Namo Amidbutsu. Namo Amidbutsu. Namo Amidbutsu.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Mikame Sensei, also for the explanation. And thank you to Sumi Tanabe for the excellent Dharma talk to let us know all that Reverend Himaka did and, you know, how we have the traditions we have now from Shinran to Kakushinni and, you know, Lady Ohtani. So thank you very much. Okay, now would you please rise for the Gatha Ondokusan II. It's on page 76 in the small service book and page 220 in the large book.
76. That's a smaller book. Okay. 緒。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナモアミダ仏。ナマンダ仏。ナマンダ仏。Okay, please be seated. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any announcements?
Good morning. Linda Ichinaga asked me to make the announcement that there's another soul line dancing session today at 11:30 in the gym. So put on your dancing shoes, as she said, and join them there. A reminder that next week we do not have a normal Dharma school adult service, so there will just be a family service at 10. So there's no 10:10 service, there's just a 10 o'clock service because of the Thanksgiving holiday. And lastly, thank you to all of you who helped Rinban Sakamoto and Mikame Sensei yesterday with the curry cook-off. Those of you who showed up at 10, I recognize some of you who came in the Hondo here, so thank you very much for helping them cut vegetables and stuff. They had to alter, it turns out they made the curry and then it didn't quite taste the way they thought it would taste, so they altered it, is what I'm hearing. And so there were 17s that competed, and the top 3 received cash prizes, small cash prizes. And the Betsuin team, led by Mikame Sensei and Rinban, took 3rd. So, yay! So, congratulations.
Okay, thank you, Larry. And I want to let you know that in 2 weeks, we'll have the BWA Bonenkai. We'll have service, general meeting, and then we'll have the Bonenkai in the annex. And it's not too late to sign up. So if you need a form, you can go to the office, but then we mail them to BWA members, okay? All right, so thank you to Mikame Sensei, to Minister's Assistants Michael Jones, Dennis Akizuki, and special thank you to Sumi Tanabe for your Dharma talk. Also our organist, Elaine Jones, and our tech support person, Mr. Paul Endo. Thank you. So refreshments will be served in the boardroom following the service. You can just go out to your left, go down the stairs, and then you can take the elevator up to the 2nd floor or walk up the stairs. And thank you to Emi Tsutsumi, Hiromi Kurahashi, Elaine Jones, Holly Lowe, Phyllis Sugimoto, Karen Hiranaga, and Tomi Imokawa. So thank you for attending service this morning. Please come up for Oshoko. Thank you. Just move it back.